All right, hello everyone. So let's take a look at the market. This is 2nd of November. This is gold. Now remember, with gold, this is what we have. Let me just put the Astro hours up properly here. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Rightio. So these are the lines here. These are our timelines. Okay, now remember, these are already in the members area. Now yesterday we had the up move, and then I said this weekly pivot here, the daily pivot here was going to be a sell zone. So you could sell here if it was an Astro hour. Now there were 3 Astro hours there. One of them here, as you can see when the bar opened, the other one's here, and the other one's right in the middle. It nearly hit the target. Well, it hit that white zone just under. Okay, but it came to that daily and weekly pivot, which was here. And I said you could sell from here as well, all right? And remember, we had those targets there. So the market picked up from here and came back down and pushed even lower here, closed below. So let's take a look now where we're at. Now on the weekly, as you can see, we're kind of like dipping down here, but we've got room to come down. And the reason we've got room to come down, you guys already know, got a bit of room here. But see how it just exactly on the targets, guys. Okay, so if you take your PST and your price indicator, you'll see that, we're like pretty much on the zone there. But this is a good dip down. And we talked about this bar here. You can always just make this a little bigger. Okay, why? Because that's the last manipulation bar before the up move. Okay, so market dips into it and then pushes up. So we're still in the sell zone here. This 68.70 can be a sell zone. 1994, 2003, 1994, 2003. So that 2007 was already done. 1994 is going to be here. 2003 is going to be here. Okay, so we still got room. Maybe it'll push up and then sell off here. On the weekly as well, if you take a look at the weekly, let's take a look. Like I said, we've got room to come into that 52, which is 1950. 1950 still is not enough. It's not still low enough. Okay, but we marked that level here anyway. 1950. Then bring, actually, no, wait a second. That's your 1950. I shouldn't have moved that. Why? Because on the daily, that's 53, 1960 for today. Okay, so that's 1960. It's going to be a target today, so I can get rid of this now. Okay, and I can also get rid of that now. Okay. On the upside, we've got places to sell at Astro hours. On the downside, we've got targets. If you want to buy, obviously, buying is the way to go with gold, with all the war and stuff happening. But we should dip down here. We should have these gaps filled in, so we should actually dip down into this place. But 1950 is going to be the first zone. This should be worth buying if we hit 1950. Okay, SP 500, let's take a look at that. Now on the daily, I said we should be going up. We should, in fact, I said yesterday as well, we should in fact break this out since the stops are there. We'll get some liquidity. So going up, and it's moving up really fast. That's exactly what we want to see. 50.29, that's a target of 4,248. If you're using your PST indicator, you would have had that. I put that in yesterday. That was the Astro hour yesterday. So if you dip down and then pushed up, that's fine. I also mentioned in the comments area yesterday, this will be a retracement possibly. The market retraced until 845. That's your 845 there. And then the market took off, as you can see, right into that target. So what are we looking for today? This is obviously a sell zone where the market sold before, but I'd love to see it slightly higher above that 37.5%, about here, right, somewhere around there, 4,300, let's say. Okay, before selling off so that we can clean out the stops as well. Okay, so 4,295, 4,307, that zone is still on the radar. On the weekly, you can see that 51 is 4,333, which is also fair play, and that's 4,333. Let me just put it up here. Okay, so these are going to be sell zones for us. All right, these are definitely places we want to be selling. We might look to sell next week as well, obviously. All right, so that's that. So if the market does come back into your daily, this is your daily pivot. This is where the market took off. Okay, so if you want to do that, That's doable. This is yesterday's daily pivot. If I just refresh that, you'll see that the daily pivot is here. So coming back into this red bar, which is at your daily pivot at your equilibrium level, if it is a Astro hour, good to go long. The decent Astro hours for today, actually, you want to be looking out for is going to be 3 to 3:45, and then you got 7:22, 7:50. So more like 7:20, 7:25. That's like a nice zone there. And also at lunchtime, 10 past 12 to 12:30 is looking, pretty good, where the market might just, start reversing. And you should think about 2:45 to 3:45, like I said, and from there on 7:20 onwards. All right, 7:20 is like, pretty good for a market reversal as well. That could be like the, place where the market ends the day and is looking for a reversal as well. Okay, so just put your Astro hours as usual and just follow it through. We should come to a dip down into that equilibrium. Also, if you take a look at the daily, here that's already done, so a bit of retracement is okay, and then that retracement can come all the way down into that 4,190 zone. 4,190 is there. All right, so we could dip down a little bit more. This will be also okay to go long, since we'll be like filling this in. This zone is good because it's, as you can see, let me just get rid of this, just get rid of these. Okay, 4,190 is going to be there. Okay, that's one. And then this is obviously going to be the daily pivot plus this zone here. Okay, and this is going to be also a zone. So if the market dips down into here, there at Astro hours, we're okay to go up. Again, obviously no buying at the tops here. Euro dollar, well, let's take a look at the daily here. With the euro dollar, you should have sold off like 2 days ago. Nice here. These were support levels yesterday. Remember, I gave you those targets yesterday. The market, I think, did one of them. Yeah, it did this one. Okay, nicely going in there. That's an Astro hour coming in there. Let me just delete that. Let's refresh this. Now, once again, we are up here. Remember, I said we'd probably get up here, and I drew this purple zone in yesterday, making it a target. And I said if we come in there into an Astro hour, then, it's also okay to kind of like sell off from here. Now, if you take a look at, let's just do this. If you take a look at the daily, if we go back up again, we're looking to sell. Okay, that 1.0645, 0663, 0684, these are still on the cards. There's a bit of a gap here, so if the market does come up to fill it in and then sell off, don't be surprised. This is like, a really decent place to sell again. So that Venus line, Mercury line is still there, but remember that blue zone is our sell zone, and that 60, 1.0669, 1.0669 is there. All right, so that level is on the daily. On the weekly, okay, on the weekly, these levels are still sell zones. So if you get in there from 43, 1.0630 to, like I said, 1.0663, which is that 70 zone I marked in. All right, so these zones are still, like here, they're still sell zones. So if we go up, you can sell. This place is also a sell zone. This is where the market shot down. As you can see, it also broke that level there. So if you take a look at it from a smaller time frame perspective, this is like a good dip down. Also, market coming down here. All right, so now we've got even lows here. Okay, so if the market does come down, we should take the stops below this level. All right, so there should be stops here. The market should sweep them. Okay, if that makes sense. So selling the highs is an option, it's a good option to bring yourself down, and we should sweep stops here. So obviously cover yourself on the daily pivot. Why? because the market is in between the channel here, and this is the most dangerous part of trading, when you're in the middle. So what you want to do is buy on the support and sell at the resistance, and don't muck around in the middle too much. That support for the day is 44.98, which is 0551. I'll keep that there for the moment, 0551. So this is your daily support. Okay, this is the support of the day. So if the market does come here, there'll be some buying action here as well. Probably if it's an Astro hour, worth checking out. Okay. However, though, like I said, be careful in this zone, because this is like the chop zone. So you should have really sold on Tuesday, which was also, I think it was also a swing day for the euro dollar, if I'm not mistaken. It was Monday, sorry. So Monday, that's your Monday. So Monday was the low. The other swing day, well, the other swing day is going to be today. So if we go back up again, you should be selling off. Okay. And that's the way to go with that one. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Bitcoin, and call it a day. Right here, so this is the Dow Jones, as you can see. Okay, so with the Dow Jones as well, I'll just put these on here. All right. So yesterday, what was it? 225, yeah? That's your 225 here. Also 340. 340 is on this bar, as you can see. Okay, so that's a nice move up. And then we had 545, we had 645, 645, and then 845 coming down to 845 here. That's your 845 bar. And then the market going up again. So the push up, that retracement time period I mentioned, and then going back up again. But remember, with the indices, we were talking about going up. So no real problems there, no dramas there. And as you can see, we've done that PST on the daily. So yesterday, you would have targeted that 49.71, 33.260. You should have been okay. Okay, there you go. So once you got that target, you would have gotten out anyway, simply because that's a PST level. And the last thing you want to be doing there is mucking around thinking, oh, we're going to go higher. Okay. And also, we got on the weekly that 48 level, 33,637. So 33,637 is there. That's still a target on the weekly, only if we dip down back into this white zone here, which is that going to be this one here. Okay. Okay, which is going to be this zone here. Like the daily pivot, the red bar there. If it dips down here, then going up again at an Astro hour is not a bad idea to target it. It's okay to do so. That's a nice little push up impulse wave again. So if we dip down, going back a little bit higher is not a bad idea. Ideally, what we'd like to see is, look, it's already done that, is sweep the stops on top of that, which is fine. Just a tap more to cover the gap here would be awesome, and that would bring us to 33,552 as well. So between 33,552, 33,552, so this is pretty much this zone here. All right, so this zone's a nice little target there, but here you should be looking to sell as well. Okay, so just keep your swing days in mind as usual. That's Wednesday. All right, so yesterday was Wednesday. Maybe this is a high. Okay, this is also an option. So looking to sell also from these levels, it's not a bad idea, but you know, that on the weekly is sticking out. Okay, maybe what will happen is we'll dip down next week, we'll go up to here and then sell off. It's also an option, but at Astro hours, at resistance levels, selling is not a bad idea on this one. Nasdaq, let's take a look. Nasdaq's got a swing day Thursday, so going up somewhere and then selling off is not a bad idea at all. 57 is going to be 14,904 on the daily. 14,904. I'm just going to push this up a little bit there. 904 on the daily, and that's right on there, and that's fine. You can see the indices have got a bit of room to go, and look how beautiful that is. Okay, so if you were in your game yesterday, that's 130. We had what, 225. 225 is there, plus we had 340. Well, that's pretty much there. 315, 330. There you go. It's just rocketing up from there onwards. That's your 330 bar. So 340 is in there, pushing upwards in there. Then the retracement, then going up to the targets. You can see from the lows, targets all done. Okay, pretty cool. So if we get back up there, we want to be selling off. If the market dips down a little bit, going back up to sell is not a bad idea, and that's the level you need to be keeping an eye on. Oops, sorry. Let's just get back to the daily here for a second. And that we already marked in, didn't we? 14,904 on the weekly. 57, that's going to be far out. 461, let's mark it in anyway. If it does surprise us, 14 or 15. 57, 15,220. Okay, so that's a bit far out, but hey, you know, the market does crazy stuff. But in any case, that's a sell zone. Okay, do I have funny moves today? Not particularly, but these changes should be probably happening. The main swings I'm thinking are probably going to happen at lunchtime, today at lunchtime, and New York opening, and then it should flow through, I reckon. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's see what happened here. With Bitcoin, as you know, these levels, we've got a swing there happening on Thursday. I think I said Bitcoin. Tuesday and Thursday, all right? So this is Thursday. So yesterday I also mentioned this line here. You might want to wait for the Thursday and then think about it, and then that might be it. So Thursday today, selling from the highs where this 86, 87. There's no price for that here in MetaTrader 5. If we can just solve some issues with the MetaTrader 5 software, then we'll give those higher levels as well. But if you're using your MetaTrader 4 and if you're trading Bitcoin, wait for the market to come up into this zone and then think about selling. On the weekly, remember, we had that zone 76, 36, 163, and we marked that in. So I said it would probably get into that zone. Let's see. Okay, so it's pretty much there. If we go up in here again, this is definitely a sell zone, 36, 160 zone. Okay, so going up to sell is good, and it'll be a 1, 2, 3 tap as well. So that might as well be an ending kind of diagonal here. 1, 2, maybe third one, and then just dropping down. Okay, so these levels, in my opinion, are sell zones if you're intraday trading. If you're using your ATM, use the red dotted lines. And like I said, today's a swing day, so selling from the highs is not a bad idea at all.